4, 3, 2. Okay, so this is the best part of the show where we get to get all
the interview.
The interview portion of the show. Did you want to go first? Ask the question.
No, you go first.
Okay, so let me ask you, Art. Star, since you're right beside me, you know, the theme of your interview is pretty much around discipline, mental health, body, identity, evolution, things like that. Who was Art before the discipline? And what made you decide to rewrite this version of yourself?
Who was Art before discipline? It's hard to say because my dad is a Navy veteran, and that was his favorite word. You know, he was, to speak to his level of discipline, he was black belt karate, green belt judo. He boxed. He raced bicycles. He used to ride from Dayton to Cincinnati and back a lot with his club.
That's far.
That's far. That's like 55 miles each, so like 110 round trip. Yeah.
Sheesh.
So that, and my mother, Air Force veteran, and she was very, what's the word? She doubled down on doing what has to be done when it has to be done and then doing it the right way. So I was kind of like raised with it, but you know, when you're a kid, you get away from it because, you know, every kid rebels against his parents at one point, right? So, but then as I got older in life, I found out that how important it really was, and, you know, swung back to what I learned, what had been instilled in me before. But the block of years in between who was Art, probably a black belt party animal.
Black belt party animal was
I
crazy.
was probably like a connoisseur of 40 ounces. I can tell you everything about the Red Bull, the Blue Bull, the Mickeys, the Cokie 900. You heard of Cokie 900?
It sounds familiar.
The laser.
Yep. Mickey's Big Mouth.
I remember they came out with the 64 ounces though.
Yes.
I remember. I haven't drank.
But who was the first to come out with the 64 ounce?
Was it St. Ives?
I want to say
It was St. Ives.
Yeah, I want to say it was St. Ives, but then again, I want to say it was Schlitz Malt Liquor Bull.
It was one of the two.
It was St. Ives.
Was it St. Ives?
Yeah, I haven't drank in 22 years, but I do remember St. Ives coming out with the.
I know they
and I remember the color. It was like that maroon,
like Central State colors.
Maroon.
Ironically,
maroon and gold. I remember that, maroon, and I remember that 64 on there.
Yep.
And I remember
the crooked eye.
And I remember feeling very accomplished.
And I remember the commercial. I remember the commercial. Ice Cube coming out the liquor store.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I remember feeling very accomplished when I finished one. Like,
I was a party animal. You know, we're in the same fraternity, so I was at every party. I went to school at Kentucky State University in Frankfort, Kentucky, but on any given weekend, I could be in Lexington, Louisville, Ohio at Ohio State block party, or University of Dayton, Wright State. I mean, everywhere. I was.
Ooh, University of Dayton. My college years that's where I was married.
I didn't know you went to the University of Dayton.
No, I went to Wilberforce, but.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you know about the frat house on Kefauver in the ghetto.
Yeah.
Right.
We in the ghetto. Yeah.
Right, in the middle of the ghetto, right there. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I was living that life for a while, and then, you know, after I graduated, I still kept doing my thing, whatever. Then I went to the Army, and when I joined the Army, and I was substitute teaching in Dayton after I graduated college. And I was like, it's kind of boring. Just, you know, the daily grind. And I still had a lot of running me and stuff. And so Desert Storm started. And I'm like, I'm going. Went down and signed up. And I had a 6-month delay entry program. And I left in January 92. Unfortunately, Desert Storm ended in like the week before I left.
Wow.
I missed that.
Yeah,
So then, you know, I did my thing in the military, jumped out of planes, had a lot of fun. Had a chance to train with Special Forces, Rangers, a couple of Navy SEALs, but mainly it was primarily 7th Crew Special Forces. Just had a great time. Still talk to my buddies now in the Army. So got out of there and then started working like for real. And at that point, that's when I looked at, okay, I gotta hit the ground running because I want a career, I want a family, I want all these things. So with that, you gotta get locked in. Be more accountable, own what you know of, and just grind it out. So that's what I did. So I'd say around, I want to say like around 30 or something. That's probably when I, closed the door because I don't even remember my 20s. I mean, who does, right? But yeah, around that time, that's where I was. Yeah. So it's just ironically, it's just funny that I look back on that now. It's like, man, I don't remember that dude, or my wife and I were in a convenience store as we were filling up gas along the way, and we go past the refrigerator section. I'm like, I used to drink all that stuff. I can't even smell it anymore. Yeah, I can't smell it. Now I have a beer here and there, but I can't smell stuff anymore. But yeah, around 30, 31, that's when I got locked in again, and cut out the craziness. Every once in a while he raises his head again here and there. Yeah. But I try to keep him in the basement.
Yes. It's relatable.
Yeah, so Miss Raven, it's your turn.
Okay.
Singer, songwriter.
Yes, sir.
Actress.
Yes, sir.
So when did you realize? I'm gonna assume that singing was your first passion, right?
That was the first thing I realized that I liked.
So when did you realize that your voice was more than a hobby, that it was a gift that everybody should hear, that you should share it with everyone across the world?
Well, the first time I realized it and then the first time I put that thought into motion are two different times. Okay. But the first time I realized it, I was in the 7th grade. Okay. And I was standing in front of the piano in front of my choir teacher. Mm-hmm. And she locked eyes with me and was like, "Raven, your voice." Mm-hmm. She was like, "You remind me of Lauryn Hill." And that's all she had. I didn't even hear nothing else she said after that. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't remember nothing else she said. Because as soon as she said that, because it was a one-on-one moment. I had tried out for a solo or something. We were having like a choir concert. Okay. And so it was just her and I there. And when she said that, like, this was, 1997 when I was in the 7th grade? Like, Lauryn Hill was... That was like somebody saying you remind them of Beyonce today. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just tripping off. You said you was in 7th grade.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
7th grade.
Yeah, I thought you were.
Yeah, I'm like, I feel old. Yeah.
It wasn't like 97, 98.
No, I thought you were younger.
Oh, well, yeah. So, should I just go ahead and let the cat out of the bag?
No, good.
Okay, yes, I've been around for a while, okay? I'm not a spring chicken. Okay. Although I look like one, thank you, Lord. I drink a lot of water, and I mind my business, and I do believe that's what's preserving me. Yeah. So the first time I realized that I had something was that, but then I just started taking my singing seriously during COVID. You know how everybody during COVID started figuring themselves out? I had just stopped working doing customer service for Progressive, and I was really miserable. And so I walked away from it when I had the opportunity to, and I went back to something I love doing, which is kids. So I was doing this daycare work, and I was there, and nothing was wrong with it, but it was just something I had done earlier in my life that I was done with. You know how there's always somewhere you could call home. Like it's always somewhere that's gonna look out for you. You leave certain places and you left a good impression behind. Like, dang, well, at least I know if all else failed and I'm down bad, I could go here and be like, hey, put me on the schedule. I'll work this week, and that was my thing. It was a daycare owned by a Black woman. Shout out to Good Beginnings in Maple Heights. It's a 5-star rated center in Cleveland, one of the best daycares in Cleveland. Okay. And so I was sitting there on the carpet during circle time, and I just really just had like an epiphany, like, why am I not just doing everything I want to do? Just like how I walked away from Progressive and that customer service job, being verbally abused by angry customers all day, and I chose this. Why am I not choosing everything else? So I just kind of had an epiphany. I was talking to one of my homegirls, and she was on her way to band rehearsal, and I was like, "Y'all need a background singer?" Just joking, and she was like, "We really do. So could you come next Thursday?" And been a rap since then. I've been taking myself serious. I just actually started working with a vocal coach. Shout out to Kenesha down at the Singer Shed down on Lakeside. It's happening every last Tuesday of the month. But so I am now pouring more into myself, and this isn't my first time, pouring into my vocal career. It's just I'm getting back on, the upside, like you said, trying to operate for my highest self. I'm trying to push the old Raven down, keep her in the basement as much as possible, because she doesn't go after her dream. She doesn't try to sing and try to be noticed and all of that. So those were the two moments.
That's what's up.
Thank you.
Okay, so let me ask you a question, and you're gonna ask him a question. You know what I'm saying?
That's how we do it.
Yeah, because it's gonna be weird if I just keep asking.
Yeah. I kind of figured that's what we were
So
doing.
Raven, do you see yourself more as a singer who acts or an actress who sings? Because I know you were trying to get into acting, right?
To be honest, when I tell you I really think I'm an actress, like I really think if I really went hard on that, I think that I would really knock people's socks off with the abilities that I just naturally have to act, like, and always have had, like, since I was younger. Like, what is the point of me having all of these personalities and all of this oomph about me if I'm not going to express it, in a way? I already have characters, in my day-to-day life, that are not associated with one another. And when I am in one position, I have to be that. So to answer your question, I think I would, if I were to guess, because they say if you tell God your plans, he's going to laugh at you. But if I were to guess, I would be a more successful actress who happens to sing well as well. That's what I would guess. Like, if I were being judged by others. But because I have more singing experience than I do acting, I would say right now the singing is the stronger thing.
She already knows. So, Art, you look like you're into physical fitness, right?
Yes, sir.
So tell us how you got started in physical fitness. What got you started, and what has been the impact, not only just health wise, body wise, but mentally as well.
Once again, going back to my dad, I'm 60. So,
what?
Black don't crack?
Never knew that.
Yeah, 60.
Man.
July 1865.
Man, I would have never.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So when I met you, you was old. No, I'm just joking.
I was less old.
But I always thought you were like 2 or 3 years older than me.
How old are you again?
I'm 41. No, I'm 40. No, I'm 47.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I'm 60 now.
Man,
And so, growing up, this is,
Crazy.
I was older than you were in 1997. So, but growing up,
7th grade. I was
I'm in 7th grade since like
I was in college.
76.
I was in college paging people.
waiting after 9 to use your phone.
No, we ain't had no phone.
No phone. You had the one phone in the house with the long 8-foot cord.
I thought you was somebody doing something.
Right.
Miami Vice.
The big one.
Right.
Big brick.
Go ahead.
No, but my dad used to train people in our basement, and he always worked out with weights. Like he was, again, something else. I don't know if I mentioned, he was a bodybuilder as well. Mm-hmm. So I'd always seen, had been around that. It was always familiar with me, or to me. And then when I graduated from college, my first job was a trainer at a small health club in Dayton, Ohio.
Excuse me.
Oh, yeah, small health club in Dayton, Ohio. So that was my first formal education with training.
Okay.
Then I stuck with it. I was in the military. I was on the powerlifting team there. Got out, and I just kept lifting from there. When I retired in, I almost said the age, but it's 21, 22,
Okay.
Formal retirement. That's when I doubled down and went full in on training, actually in 2018.
Okay.
And in Houston, I was at a major health club on the north side of Houston, 24-hour fitness. And it was fun. I was able, and I read a lot. I'm like, deep down, I'm the classic nerd. You know, I'll read. And the things I enjoy reading are the things that are about, you know, who I am. How can I get to be a better version of me tomorrow than I was the day before, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, I'm reading a book now by Brene Brown, and it's all about flow state, you know. Not so much a mental state. She says, man, it's a long story. She always has these long titles about stuff, but I could tell you real fast. It's called...
I'm just trying to see if I read it.
Oh, you read some of hers?
Yeah, I read it a lot.
Let me get that. Strong Ground. Yeah, Strong Ground, but then it's a whole nother, you can see all that down there.
Yeah, I haven't read
But
it.
Strong Ground, and essentially it's telling you, she's a sociologist from University of Houston. She did all these studies, and she talks about, now she presents to corporate businesses about leadership and how to make people better leaders.
Okay.
But in this book, it's unique because she, for the first time, got a personal trainer.
Oh, okay.
And she's relating what she's learning from her personal trainer. For example, create a strong foundation.
Yeah.
Create your core. Because if you don't have a strong core, then everything else is not going to reach its potential as far as, you know, having the strength, the power, or speed, or endurance that it should have, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's those are the things I enjoy, you know, reading up on and learning more about. For 22 years, I was in the medical sales industry. So in that, not only did I have a chance to learn about different medications, but I took anatomy and physiology, I don't know how many times. Had a chance to stay in. And later in my career, I got into like surgical sales.
Okay.
So I talked to general surgeons, orthopedic surgeons, and vascular surgeons a lot. I remember the first time I actually stood in on a surgery was a total knee replacement. And that was like the most disgusting thing I've ever seen or smelled.
Smell.
When they cauterize the veins so you don't bleed out. It's a really distinct burning flesh is what it smells like, burning flesh.
Okay.
So yeah, it's really unique. But I think overall in my career, I probably have stood in on, between 20 and 30 surgeries, whether it be knees, elbows, hips, shoulders, all that. And to have that perspective on top of, you know, all the A&P that I've been reading, and to have, like, I had this, on average, I saw about 10 docs a day. So we're having different conversations about, you know, pain or different disease states. You know, when I got into personal training as a trainer, it was a different approach than what most people had, you know. So when I talk to people about personal training, like even now, I say strength conditioning because personal trainers are different than a strength and conditioning coach. Okay. And I think that even, I don't know your trainer, sounds like a great guy, but he probably would have his perspective on being called a personal trainer versus something else. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. Because typically you hear about personal trainers like, you know, all this stuff, everyone's a personal trainer on Instagram. Everybody, right? But like you said, referred to, not everyone knows how to do it. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And so I look at, you know, when I train someone, my thing is to teach, not just tell you to count to whatever, but to tell you why, to tell you where you should feel this, to tell you, is this movement going to strengthen the tendons, the ligaments, the muscles, which muscles, and what are the connections to the muscles, where are the origins, where do they tie into, and what do they do to the body, and blah, 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 right? So, because I think that's important. You know, if you go out and buy a car, a Maserati, whatever your favorite car is in the world, an exotic sports car, you don't want to know everything about that car. You know, you should know the same level of information about your body, in my perspective. And so I'm really big on that. And that essentially just really helped me with what I do. You know, I'm training powerlifters now, but my favorite thing to do is to train powerlifters. Okay. Right. Where they squat, bench, deadlift. I'm training a guy now who's getting back into jiu-jitsu. When it comes to people who want to just lose weight, I'm not your guy. You know, I could tell you, refer you to somebody, but I'm not your guy. Because I do more of a dynamic approach. I get into, Eastern Bloc weightlifting, which all this stuff today is just a repetition of Eastern Bloc weightlifting from some way or another. I don't use a lot of machines. My favorite things are kettlebells. That's my first cert.
Okay.
And yeah, it's a different approach, and it's not for everyone. So therefore, I know my audience. I know that.
Yeah.
Because if I train someone that says they want to lose 10 pounds, my big thing is you can lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks. That's nothing. First 20 pounds is water. Stop drinking. And I mean, I shouldn't say it that casually, but it's. I want the challenge. I want the person that says, "Hey, I had a knee injury, but I want to climb a mountain in the summer. All right, let's go." I want that person. Because then I can. That, as I said, kicks me back into my research of the anatomy of the knee and all that kind of stuff. And what keeps me going is, again, trying to, how can I put it? Trying to, my goal, I just talked to my wife about this. My goal this year is to be more present and not overthink.
Yeah.
Because you overthink something, you have, and I heard in this book, she talked about, I was listening to her on the way over here. She said that most people think multitasking is a good thing, right? And they say that, and the thing is that they take pride in saying that, look, I have, as she said, I have 10 flashlights, and I know when to use them, I know in what conditions to use them, and I know all the batteries are good, and so I know when to pull out these flashlights. But the reality is we have one flashlight, So all those different applications you think you're fit for, because you have 10, you really may not be fit for because you only have one. But the thing is, you have to be present. You have to, understand how you operate intrinsically and externally in order to be in the present. And another book I read earlier talks about, now I will never forget this, it talks about paying attention to the intention. So knowing your space, knowing your area, knowing those in your area, knowing those who you permit in your area. And as I think you mentioned earlier, you mentioned as well about essentially protecting your boundaries, and because you can't be everything to everyone, then that's when you go crazy because you worry about too much. But by paying attention to the intention, I know I'm locked in, I'm accountable, I've owned it, and now, I'm forward facing everything that has to be done, and everything I do today should point to the big goal. If it doesn't, then I'm not doing it. So, self-improvement.
Exactly. Always work on yourself.
Okay, so young lady, let me ask you a question.
What's up?
What scares you about success? What scares you about, like, let's say I might be super successful at this. What do you see that's like scary?
Who gave you the password to my chat GPT? Nah, for real.
Because I'm asking your brain something that you was already thinking.
Yeah, like, for real. You tapped in. We're in alignment with each other, all of us are, which that just lets me know I'm in the right place. But I've actually been researching this lately because I think that if you don't get to the root cause of what's holding you back, you won't get to the other side, the success of what you really want. And so since we speaking on the lines of discipline, I just wanted to add in my 2 cents on that first before I answer the question, because this was so good to me that I heard recently that discipline is the difference between what you want right now and what you want most. So when I think about what I want most, I think that success, why it scares me, is the pre-morning, right? I know that I'm not going to be able to allow everybody in my circle. I know that I'm not going to be able to just go out and do anything I want. I know that requires a different version of Raven. And so this version of Raven is scared of that version of Raven, the one that's a boss and a CEO and a millionaire and all of that. Like, she's afraid of that version of her because she feel like what is she gonna turn me into? You know, like who is she gonna turn me into? And so, in fear of like leaving my friends behind, or people thinking that I think now that I'm better than them, or
it's coming. It's coming.
I feel it. I can literally feel it, and like I said, I know that it's coming because why would he just ask me that? Even though maybe you ask everyone that, but I'm so ready with the answer because I'm literally already picking myself at it. Like I'm picking myself apart to break myself down. That's really my mission. This is my last year of a saga of my life, and so I want to break down that little girl. With all those insecurities and all those fears that she isn't good enough, she can't do this, or nobody likes her, or nobody's supporting her, blah, blah, blah. With all of that negativity, I'm ready to dead that and move forward to the new Raven. And so I know that it's going to require a different version of me. So to answer your question, I'm afraid of success because I've shied in the past. I've shied away from the hard road, but now I realize that's the only road to get what I want. Like there's going to be stumbling blocks. There's going to be obstacles. Like I have to get past these things. And now that I have the mental capacity to realize it, I think that I will get to the other side. I think the successful Raven is closer than I know. Like, yeah. I think she's like, she really like, she waiting to jump in. You know, like she waiting to jump in because she like, when are you gonna let me take control? When are you gonna let me take over? Because I know what to do, but you choosing to still, you know, just like she knew that I should have been ready for that competition. She was like, we should be drinking water. We should be drinking coconut water all day. We should drink some tea. We should da.
She said you should be ready.
For real. Yeah. But it was like, okay, that was my confirmation. Like, let me start listening to her because she right.
That's a serious like learning point though.
Yeah, it really was. That's why I was like, although it was a down part of my week, it was also a up part. Yeah. So.
That's so Raven.
Yeah, so we gonna come back to you, Miss Raven, because you touched on a few things. I'm about to ask you this question, but you touched on a few things.
Okay.
When you were just saying all that. So, what are some of the biggest misconceptions people have about you? You talk about the Raven now.
Some of the biggest misconceptions are people think that I'm really young, naive.
Well, I didn't think you was naive. I just thought you was young.
Yeah, I thought you were in your 20s.
I'm just old and naive, but I'm not.
I didn't think you was naive. I just thought you was young.
Well, I'm just saying those are the misconceptions. You know, when I enter a room, you know, a lot of times people think that I'm young. They don't know that I'm an adult with 3 children, whom one is an adult herself, and that I'm a homeowner, and that, you know, I'm a college graduate and I'm still working on my paperwork and getting things like that. I think the biggest misconception is just that I just sing, you know. Yep, okay. That's the biggest misconception, that people, they just see me and they just see me as, you know, like, oh, she just sing, you know. Yeah. They don't understand the many layers behind it. One of the biggest misconceptions too is the people assume that I am away without like getting to know me first. Okay. Whatever that way is, it varies with the group of people that I'm around.
People think you mean.
Sometimes.
Yeah, because I get that all the time. People always like, I thought you was mean until they start talking. But I really am mean.
Yeah, right. Until they start talking to you.
Until they start talking to you, you're not mean. And then until they start getting to know you, then you mean again.
I really am mean, but I'm just like.
That's when they get to know you. If they just
let me prove it first.
Yeah. If they just talking to you, you cool.
No, for real. That's definitely one of them, because I have a resting, blessed face. And so sometimes while I'm reflecting on what God has brought me through, it shows up on my face. And it doesn't always seem like I'm happy, but I am. So one of the misconceptions is, you know, my energy where I may be in life as far as because of just how I look. And I would say people don't realize how much I love God too upon me, you know. And that could be a little bit on me, but I would say that's a misconception too. Like people don't realize how much I do love God and how serious I am about incorporating God into everything I do.
Okay.
So if you're gonna pop the blue, you're gonna be like, you're gonna have to relationship with God.
Yep, exactly that.
So this question could go for both of you guys. So do you think healing, because we've started, before we even started the show, we were talking about people not being healed and talking about people getting to become healed. Do you think that healing looks different for men and women?
That's a good question.
And like how could you explain it, you know?
I think that there's a line that I heard from T.D. Jakes with men. And it is so true. Now, it may apply to women too. I'm not a woman, so I can't tell you. But having been divorced twice, there's a line that he said that men don't heal, they hoe. Heard that before?
Hold.
Hoe. Like hoe. H-O.
Yeah.
Like hoe.
Yeah.
Like, you know, men don't heal, they hoe. And
I know some women that hold true.
I'm not saying they're not. I'm not saying they're not. I can only speak from a man point of view.
Right.
I'm not. And I was going to say something. I didn't say. But I think that the way that men's brains work are classically different than the way a woman's brain. A man can look at that couch right there and say, couch. A woman will look at that couch and start with the stitching.
White stitching, teal,
right.
Yep.
And I'm like, then I'd be like, oh, well, yeah, there is stitching. You know, men, and I like to think like this. I'm not a sociologist or archaeologist, but I think about, okay, men recognize patterns because they were the hunter or farmers. They go, I don't know if you guys have ever been hunting before.
Back in the
Yeah, it's so long ago, dude.
I mean, like with rifles and stuff.
Oh, no.
No, not with rifles. No.
What kind of hunting you talking about?
I would be
Like Friday night hunting?
My dad bow hunting.
Yeah,
but
same thing.
Yeah, I'm from Jamaica, so it was kind of like
spears
yeah.
and stuff.
What?
Oh, he do like this.
We used to go get the goats and stuff like that, but it wasn't really hunting because we owned the goats. But I've seen animals killed before. I've seen.
Okay.
Yeah. Have you ever killed an animal?
Unalive.
Huh?
Unalive.
Oh, unalive. Have I ever unalived an animal before? No, but I ain't gonna lie though. I used to like watching it. Ain't that crazy?
It was interesting.
It's just very interesting.
It's very interesting.
It's just very interesting watching it, and it's interesting watching how they unalive different animals. Like you don't unalive every animal the same way. It's like you unalive different. It's crazy. And then like just watching my grandfather, like that's not how we're gonna unalive this. I one day he never said unalive. He said the other way. But this I want you to tabi in the heart. That the one you have to cut off the throat. That it was like a whole bunch of different ways. And I used to be like, I'm not an unaliver. But it was very just being a little kid and watching. It was just real interesting to me.
Yeah.
So my point was that you go hunting, you recognize patterns. You know, you recognize movements and patterns and blah blah blah. Right. So I think that's how we think as hunter farmers, hunter gatherers. Right. Women recognize that they have a much higher level of detail. We're like 750. Women are like 1080 with 700 DIP. You know, and so because of that, I think that that translates into how we heal or just deal with trauma, or again, you as a man, what are you taught to do? Put it in a box, push it to the back of your brain, deep. Yep. It'll never happen again, right? What women do? Let's talk about our feelings. Right? What's the worst thing that a man wants to hear?
talk about it.
Let's talk about our feelings. Right. So it's like
I'm different.
I'm like I'm not saying I'm not saying it's.
But you
like,
weren't like that before. You have to get there, dude. Tell the truth.
Yeah,
you have to get there because we
analyze everything.
But I'm saying like talking about feelings and stuff, dude. Like growing up, we ain't talking about no feelings growing up.
You know. I would say,
we had to get to the point. We had to become adults and realize how unhealthy it is.
And in all reality, it's only been the last
10 years,
maybe 20 years,
maybe
20 years.
It ain't been 20.
That men have realized, oh, I do have feelings. These are feelings. This is why I feel like this.
It's been
this is why.
20, man. It's been about.
I was just saying long term wise, maybe 20, but I would say closer to 10. I would. I know. I would say 10.
Yeah, because we're on 2017.
Yeah.
See, it's different for me because like I've been going to therapy since '96. So my mom realized I needed therapy in '96. So I've been going to therapy in '90. I think that's why it's different with me because. And then, because then when I was going to therapy, my dad was like, "Well, just go to church and talk to the pastor."
Oh my!
That part. We run to the pastor, which is not always the best thing to do.
Yeah.
That's so crazy because I got a similar story. I think I told you the story before when I was trying to get sober, and my mother, because my father's a preacher. And my mother was like, he should just go to church. My father was like, he been going to church his whole life. Let's
be real.
He need to go to treatment.
That is
but yeah, I just think that there is there's a very, I think, a very, the way we're programmed as men is drastically different than the way women are. But I think they both complement each other. Because I know for my wife, I don't know, something can come up and I say, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. You know, I think about it, you know, I play pros and cons, whatever, boom, this is the way I'm moving. My wife will say, ask me one question, and the whole strategy is garbage. You know what I mean? Something I didn't see. I don't see like that.
It was more analyzed.
Much more
analytical view.
And women think out further than men.
Yes.
You know, we think tip of our nose that way. You know, women are like till tomorrow, next week, or something like that. But I've learned. But it's. I will say this, as a man, I hear a lot of men, especially older men, say, "Ain't no woman gonna tell me what to do." Blah blah blah, blah. Right. That's why we're the problem we have now. This present.
So is.
But anyway, you can come back to this. But a wise man will listen to his wife because she is there to be his helpmate. It was designed that way. And if you decide to put that blueprint to the side, good luck to you because life is a lot harder when you're stupid.
Come on.
Right.
So to answer your question, yes.
Life is a lot harder when you're stupid. Did you have a question?
No, I'm waiting. You asked both of them.
I was just saying, I knew he was gonna have the explanation because you was like yes or no or the explanation. I was gonna say, well, to short answer, yes, but I was gonna let him explain it. But he already explained it, so I'm gonna just come back and sum it up. So the short answer, yes, healing for men and women looks completely different. Mm-hmm. It looks completely different, and I feel like it has to be tailored to your experience so far too. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because, like he said, I've been in therapy since the '90s. Said no other black man. I've never heard any black man ever say that.
Yeah, when you said that, I was like,
first time in my life I ever heard a black man say I've been in therapy
or publicly admit it.
Oh yeah, I always talk about that.
Yeah.
But I mean, and that's the thing too. Like shutting down the shame of y'all pouring into yourselves. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm divorced once over, and I thought that my husband, my husband, I thought that he didn't have feelings.
You say your husband?
Yes. I thought that my husband didn't have feelings. I really did. Like that's how I was brought up as a young lady. I thought that we had all the emotions and men didn't. You know, I saw how my mom treated men, or or whatever, and I saw how my aunties and them treated men, and I seriously did not think y'all had feelings. And I have since had to repent and like really pray and like ask for forgiveness for how I treated men before I realized that we are the same, but we're very different, but we are the same at the core as far as the things that we feel. You know, we do all have those same feelings.
This is the first time I heard a woman apologize and they trying to just feed you.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, black man.
I really appreciate it.
I really thought men did not have feelings.
We got feelings.
Yeah.
And so when you ask, you know, how does healing look? Is it different? Yes, it's completely different for men and women. It's for women, I feel like, for us to acknowledge emotions and know how to channel them. And for men, is to just acknowledge that y'all have emotions and it's okay to feel them.
Because that's the thing. It's okay.
Yeah, like it's okay.
Because everyone's dealing with trauma.
Yeah.
Come on, we all have something that can break us down to tears right now. And I just feel like when you operate in life pretending as if nobody else has went through nothing, you know, that's a terrible place to operate from.
I remember being like, speaking of like trauma, I remember moving to America. I was always a kid that I never wet the bed, right? Never wet the bed, never wet the bed. And then moved to America and started wetting the bed. That's because I was going through trauma.
Yeah.
And I was 8 years old. 8-year-old kid that's supposed to be wetting the bed. But then when I went to, they say to school psychologists, they're like, this is scaring him. Like being in a whole different country and everybody picking on him because he don't.
Come on.
I mean, he don't know how to talk.
Yeah.
And like, I remember one day I was on a bus. I used to think American kids was the meanest things ever. But but that's because we moved to the hood. So I got on the bus and they like was talking about how I talk and how I sound. And I'm on the bus like, I sound just like him. And everybody on the bus busted out laughing. But there were those kids that I do remember, like my friend Rico, which is my friend today. You know him. It's my friend today. I remember him telling people quit messing with me. And we still friends to this day.
Amen.
Man, I wish I did have a Jamaican accent.
Shout out to Rico.
Rico and Brian Williams. Rico and Brian
Brian
Williams.
and Rico.
And Tracy too. Tracy, she was
And
like,
Tracy.
yeah, but it was like them kids was mean. And then by the time you get to high school, these kids became your friends, and nobody act like they remember those things.
Exactly.
because they don't.
They don't.
You know what I'm saying? You remember because it's your trauma.
You remember.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But they don't. They
That's
really.
so
you know what I'm saying?
good.
Like, you like y'all fake. No, they don't remember that.
No, for real.
Because they was going through their own traumas.
There was people coming up to me at the 20-year reunion last summer like, remember when we were in the 3rd grade and this happened and da-da-da. I was like, no. Because unfortunately, I was one of the bad kids. Like, I was one of the kids that would have been making fun of the new kid for his accent or whatever. And not even really like in a hurtful way, but just, like I said, even back then, I didn't realize, I thought boys didn't have feelings either. So I would have been like mocking you, but not necessarily like in a mean way. I would have been mocking you because I thought it was cute how you talked or whatever. I thought it was different. But not understanding, like you said, when we first started talking, you're like, you can't play with everybody, and like that always doesn't get taken. But I would have been one of those kids that would have been mocking and being on the other side of it. So I'm glad that you had somebody that like stuck up for you in that moment and was on the other side.
Because they wanted something too. Because they was. I'm joking. I'm joking. Go ahead, you gonna say something?
No, I'm just listening.
Yeah, I mean it was kind of, but after a while you just grow. Because I don't think that trauma was that detrimental. Like, because I lost but I made sure to lose my accent though, because I remember I said speech classes. So I was like,
Let me ask you a question. Like, what made you want? I mean, as a kid, I could see it, but looking back, what made you want to lose your accent?
Because I wanted to be like everybody else. I wanted to be like, didn't want to get picked on.
Well, so how do you? Do you think differently now? Do you like?
Yes, I wish I still had my accent.
Yeah.
Because I feel like.
I mean, it came back pretty fast when you talk about your father.
Yeah. Because I feel like that's a part of me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if I move to New York, and then plus if you move to Cleveland, it's kind of like easier to lose your accent anyway too. Because
it all has to do with your environment too. Because I know you said you was a substitute teacher. You worked at a child care. I've been working for a school district for like over 23 years, and like I work in Cleveland Heights, which is everybody thinks it's a suburb, but it's predominantly black. And now I work in Twinsburg, which is a suburb. suburban school, and you could see the difference because my son goes to Twinsburg School, and you could see the difference because of the environment. You can see the difference in the kids. Like no diss to Cleveland Heights, but Twinsburg is more culture. You have more culture because you have African American students, you got Indian students, you have Caucasian students, everything, and a lot of stuff that these kids are focused on in Twinsburg, they're not focused. It's a different focus, so they're more culture. They're more. They dealt with that a little bit more than when you go to a school that's predominantly black. I went to school at Akron. It was predominantly black. My high school, we probably had maybe 3, 4 white kids in school, but everybody was black. So it's just like, and I always was interested in like different cultures and everything because I grew up in the hood. All I really knew was like black people, this culture, whatever. And I was always interested in learning different cultures. But it's just like when you're in a certain environment,
it's limiting.
Yeah, it's limited. It's like something like if you're coming from Jamaica, it's not normal.
And everybody is not like how you are though too. Like back in the day, I remember it was parents that wouldn't let them play with us. They said it was crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I swear, like people I remember one time I was on the phone with somebody and their mother got on the phone and was like they're not talking to no Jamaicans. Jamaicans is crazy. I remember stuff like that.
Wow.
Like it was a lot of, but these was hood people that had all their daggone teeth. You know what I'm saying? I got more teeth in my pocket than the mama had. But I'm just saying, like these are people that never seen anything outside of that, so they feel like that's how they're supposed to treat people. But you treat a kid like that, which makes no sense. But it's like, but it's, a lot of that stuff, like you look back, you like, why was I offended by this person?
Exactly.
Now that you're saying this, I'm just thinking. So I moved here from Houston, Texas. Houston, Texas is like 95% diverse, and there's no how the quote goes 95% diverse, and there is no group that is significantly different number wise than the other. And that's how it goes. So when I came to Cleveland, I was like, whoa, this is different. Because Cleveland is
segregated
like,
we are.
Man, I've never lived in a segregated place like this because it's like you have blacks on the east side, Jews on the east side, some Italians on the east side. You have Irish, you have a lot more Italians and other Slavics, whatever, in Parma and around the west side. But you have all the Hispanics west side. And you have, matriculation of everybody in between. I was like, wow, this is crazy. This is just different. And what went with that was food. So coming from Cleveland, I can go out and get anything from to me, is the best food in the world. I can have on the same block you have McDonald's, you have Cambodian, you have McDonald's, you have of course barbecue, you have seafood. It's that diverse, So coming here, not only did I see it in people, but I saw it in food and activities and things like that. And then what I found, how you say when you move somewhere and your tribe will find you. Because you're gonna be yourself. And your energy is tribe's gonna find you. And the people that I hang around with now are people who have traveled and who have experienced different things in life.
Same as you.
And I wasn't like going out and interviewing and taking notes. It's just I just believe that's how energy is.
Come on.
So yeah, it's just listening. I was just thinking about that when you were talking.
Yeah, that's crazy that you say that because dealing with trauma. Because I have my friend, his family, they stay in Arlington. So I went to Arlington to go visit, and we were going to. They had like a slush bar, and when we pulled up to the slush bar, it was like all African American people, and I was like, I don't want to go in there because it's like late at night, drinks and whatever. I don't want to go in there because I had this mentality from being in Cleveland, Akron, or whatever. we went in there. There was some of the most friendliest and hospitable people. Like we came in there. It was people like, "Hey, we about to leave. You want to sit at our table and all this other stuff?" And it was just like, man, I had to. But it was just environment because I'm so used to. You go somewhere like that around here, it's just like, you ready to get underlined, you know. But it was just like they was just so like hospitable. They were out in the parking lot after it closed. It was no arguing. Everybody was just hanging out, just having a good time. I'm like,
when I was in Houston, I was I don't want to extend this too much, but when I was in Houston, one of my friends was a rabbi. He was a trainer. Prior to being a rabbi, this dude was like a devout atheist. He became a rabbi. He invited me to temple. I went to temple, and they had it was called Shabbat something.
I know what you're talking about.
On Sunday mornings, and it was basically like their version of a Bible study.
okay,
Right? So they went through at this point they were going through Genesis, but they went through all the 5 books of the Christian Bible that they followed, and just line by line. And I was like, I've been going to church for a long time. I did not know that.
yeah,
So I learned to really appreciate their perspective on things, right? And I got invited to a couple of ceremonies they had in their temple. I had one guy that I used to sit next to all the time. He went out and got me a yarmulke. I'm like, I can wear this? He goes, yeah, Art, let's put it on, blah, blah, blah. And so then he bought me some more books, and I started reading these books, you know, and it's like, you know, I have a very wise friend now, Jeremy Lumpkin, very wise friend that told me that if you're strong enough within your soul, you'll pretty much be ready for anything, you know. And I like to think that in life I developed, you know, a mentality that says, okay, I'm not scared to swim to this side of the pool or this side of the pool or go out a little bit deeper because I know who I am. I know my limitations, those kind of things. And when I got here, you know, I called, I was talking to him on the phone. He said, yeah, Art, you should absolutely do the same thing there in Cleveland. Because he knew that here it was a large Jewish community. And he said that they should have the same class, called the same name, blah, 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 blah. And now the one I was going to, the temple I was going to in Houston was the largest temple in Houston.
okay,
So I got here and I called one temple. They're like, well, are you trying to convert? I'm like, no, I'm not trying to convert. I'm just trying to understand more, you know. And let me back up and say I did the same thing. I had a Muslim friend, Uzi, that's his name, and he owned a convenience store, Shell station, and it ran 24 hours. I go up to, it wasn't far from the house, so I go up there and talk to him about 2-3 hours about the Quran and all these things. So again, I like to think of myself as a constant student, always trying to learn something. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so I got here and I called the temple, and hey, can I come to this Shabbat something? I can't remember the full name of it. Are you trying to convert? No, I'm just trying to learn. Well, no, you can't do that. You have to convert. I'm like, but I did the same thing in Houston. I told him the name of the temple, told him the rabbi's name. He said, no, you can't do that. Called another one. No, you can't do that unless you're trying to convert. Called another one. Maybe let me check with this person, and I'll call you back. It's January 9th? They still ain't called back. Right? And this was like in 2020. Yeah. And I was like, wow, that was like, you have a person trying to understand your side of the curtain.
Right.
I thought that was a purpose.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So we all can work together. They're like, nope. I was like, oh. And I will say that the community there, like you were saying, in Houston, what you were saying about, where you were in Arlington, they are much more open to getting to know you and having conversations and those. I came here and it's like, oh no, you can't come on my block. Yeah. You're not like me, But then we kept getting these invitations to the Jewish place on Richmond, the museum there.
Oh yeah, I know.
And my wife's like, you want to go? I'm like, no. They don't even want to let me in their doors to have a conversation. Why am I going to go pay money to support their cause? Because that's peripheral. I'm trying to get to learn.
Yeah.
You know, you talking about you can come to the picnic. No, I'm trying. But it's just when you said that about Arlington, it really made me think about what I left behind. And it was just it's sad. I think it's very sad, but it's what it is here, I guess.
Yeah, man. We want to thank y'all for coming on the show. This was very interesting, man. You really, most authors are really smart anyway. So,
so before we go, is there any shout outs, any upcoming events, anything that you would like to tell everybody, or just let people know?
Well, as far as for me, I definitely want people to be on the lookout for new music from me. If y'all would like, y'all can follow me on my socials. I deactivated my main page. I see that. I'm being a little emo. I'm being a little emo right now, but discipline is not just completely removing something from myself, right? So I'm going to reactivate it. So I'm going to give y'all my regular Instagram, which is Ravens Fly High. Follow me there for more music, for updated content. I'm going to reactivate it tonight so that by the time this hits, y'all have it. And yeah, just get in touch with me on socials and keep up with me because I'm up and coming out here in Cleveland. I'm got next. I'm on the rise. And keep God first, of course. I'm a live singer, so like I said, if y'all get connected to my socials, y'all be able to see where I'm.
And she can sing. She can sing. We seen her live.
Can she sing or does she sing?
No, she sang. She sang. Yeah, she sang. We seen her live.
you got anything coming up?
Thank you.
No, just if you're interested in training, working out with weights, kettlebells, or something different, look me up. I'm over at King's Gym. Shout out King's Gym in Bedford.
Okay.
There are a lot of good trainers here in Cleveland. I think there's enough business for everybody, but what I do is what I do. So again, if you're looking at athletics, dynamic, power, those kind of things, I'm your guy. I decided last year when the new year started, I said I'm gonna do something different. So I went out and played hockey. I took two ice skating lessons. I was like, okay, I'm ready. Went out and played hockey. And I was like, that was different, And then just play different things throughout the year. But this year, my thing is I'm preparing for a triathlon for the first. Something I said I never do.
Yeah.
So, but I'm preparing for it. So if anyone is out there interested in, something like that, it doesn't have to be a triathlon, but, doing something different or preparing for something different, come
Coming back.
Is it real?
Yeah.
It's for real?
Yeah. Well, it's better.
It's better, exactly.
Okay.
Peace.
Man, I'm sore, man.
Y'all are cracking me up with this being sore, okay?
Man, I have